Imagine waking up every morning and realizing it is the exact same day again. The same people. The same conversations. The same events. For Ethan, this happened not once, not twice, but 100 times. Ethan was a normal teenage boy living in a quiet town. One Monday morning, he woke up to the sound of his alarm clock. Sunlight entered through his bedroom window. His mother called him for breakfast, and he got ready for school. Everything felt normal. He walked through the town streets, greeted his friends, attended classes, and returned home in the evening. After dinner, he went to bed, thinking it had been an ordinary day. The next morning, Ethan woke up and immediately felt confused. His phone showed the same date as yesterday. At first, he thought it was a mistake. Maybe his phone was broken. But as he walked to school, every event repeated exactly the same way. The same dog barked at the same corner. The same bicycle passed him at the same moment. Even his friend told the exact same joke. When Ethan entered the classroom, he became even more nervous. His teacher repeated the same lesson word for word. Every student asked the same questions. Then, at exactly 10:15, a bird crashed into the classroom window just as it had the day before. Ethan stared in shock. Somehow, he was reliving the same day. That evening, he tried to stay awake as long as possible. Maybe if he didn't sleep, the day wouldn't restart. But eventually he fell asleep. The next morning, he woke up and saw the same date again. Monday. Days passed. Then weeks. Ethan was trapped inside a mysterious time loop. No matter what he did, the day always reset when he slept. At first, he found it exciting. Since there were no consequences, he began experimenting. He skipped school and explored places he had never visited before. He walked through abandoned buildings and hidden paths in the forest.
After many loops, Ethan became surprisingly skilled at different things. He practiced basketball every day. He learned to play the piano. He memorized entire books from the library. Every morning the world reset, but his memories remained. He became smarter and more talented than anyone around him. But eventually, the excitement disappeared. Ethan felt lonely. Every friendship vanished when the day restarted. Every achievement was erased overnight. Nobody remembered the adventures he had experienced. To everyone else, it was always Monday morning. Months seemed to pass. Ethan lost count of how many times he had lived the same day. Some mornings he didn't even want to get out of bed. He felt trapped inside an endless prison, made of time itself. He wondered if he would spend the rest of his life repeating the same 24 hours forever. One evening, while searching through the town library, Ethan discovered an old book hidden on a dusty shelf. The book contained stories and legends about the town's history. One chapter caught his attention. It described an ancient clock tower standing in the center of town. According to the legend, the tower controlled the flow of time. Most people considered it a myth, but Ethan had nothing to lose. The next day, he visited the clock tower. The structure was old and forgotten. Thick clouds covered the sky above it. The tower looked mysterious and abandoned. Inside, Ethan climbed a long spiral staircase that seemed to go on forever. At the top, he found a hidden room behind a loose stone wall. There, resting on a pedestal, was a magnificent golden clock, unlike anything he had ever seen. The clock's hands were frozen at exactly midnight. Strange symbols covered its surface. Ethan couldn't understand them. For many loops, he returned to study the clock. Day after day, he copied the symbols into notebooks and searched for their meaning. Finally, after countless attempts, he decoded the message. The symbols told the story of an ancient guardian who protected the flow of time. Long ago, the golden clock had stopped working, creating a break in reality. The only way to restore time was to move the frozen hand forward, exactly 1 minute during a midnight storm. Ethan realized this was his chance to escape. He spent several loops preparing. He gathered equipment, studied the tower, and waited for the perfect storm. Finally, one Monday night, dark clouds filled the sky. Thunder echoed across the town. Rain poured heavily onto the streets. Ethan climbed the tower one last time. Lightning flashed through the windows as he entered the hidden room. The golden clock glowed faintly in the darkness. The air felt charged with energy. His heart pounded as he stepped forward. Slowly, he reached for the frozen minute hand. The moment his fingers touched the metal, the room began to shake. Ancient symbols lit up with golden light. Wind rushed through the tower. With all his strength, Ethan pushed the hand forward by 1 minute. A blinding explosion of golden energy filled the room. The tower trembled violently. Thunder crashed overhead. Time itself seemed to bend around him. Then everything went black. For a moment, there was only silence. When Ethan opened his eyes again, morning sunlight was shining through his bedroom window. He sat up quickly and grabbed his phone. His hands trembled. The date had changed. For the first time in what felt like years, it was Tuesday. Ethan laughed with relief. The nightmare was finally over. He rushed outside and saw people going about their normal lives. Everything was moving forward again. At school, his friends greeted him with new conversations. His teacher started a new lesson. The world was finally alive. That evening, Ethan returned home feeling happier than ever. He believed his strange adventure was over. But as he entered his room, he noticed something on his desk. The golden clock. The very same clock from the tower. Its hands were slowly moving backward. Ethan stared in horror. Then the clock stopped, and a new date suddenly appeared on his phone. A date from the future. The end.